we can start, Shivam.
Yeah, we can start. So, all
All
right,
right.
guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, this evening, or maybe this afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. This is Shivam, the Atlassian Company champion from Atlassian Company Faridabad, and today we are here again to share some knowledge with you all around the Atlassian ecosystem. And today we have the very amazing guest with us, like Gabriel, who is from Apwide, and Apwide is a Atlassian marketplace partner. If I'm right, Gabriel?
Yes. I
Yeah.
will tell our story in a moment, but yes, we are
They
a
are the marketplace
vendor
partner.
on the event.
Yeah, so they will tell you more about Apwide later in like when they start. So let me tell you a bit about the Faridabad community. So we started almost 1.5 year ago with a vision to build a chapter to share the knowledge and the something around the Atlassian ecosystem that is valuable for you all, and that is the like also the vision of the Atlassian community as well that we are doing today. And I believe, yeah, and let me introduce my co-champion as well, Shant. He is with me today and hosting this the virtual event. And yeah, that's pretty quite a short introduction of us. And I believe I've covered quite a few things. And now I will over to Sushant and Gabriel, however you
Mhm.
want to go.
Yeah, so in I'll keep it short. Like today, we'll hear a story about how Apwide turned a simple idea into a developable, award-winning Forge app that helps team manage resource, assets, and reservation directly within the Jira and JSM. And Gabriel will share the lesson learned from the pushing the limits of Forge, what is really meant to be run on Atlassian, and how customer feedback influence the product evolution. And of course, we have some certification vouchers at the end. So please stay with us till end. So let's get started. Over to you, Gabriel, now.
Thank you so much, and once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. It's a pleasure to get the opportunity to speak to all of you beautiful people. So yes, my real name is Gabriel. I'm a partnership manager at Apwide, but I'm starting as the Booking Beaver. And the Booking Beaver, well, is a mascot of our product called Booking for Jira. And as Sushant explained, and as you probably saw in the description of the product, there is a lot promised. It's the presentation is not really centered around any particular persona. We'll talk a bit about development, about Forge, about Codegeist, Atlassian Hackathon, and about the app itself, and also about the kind of journey of how it came to be by listening to customer feedback and kind of putting your ear to the ground and listening on what people would potentially want from expanding Jira's capabilities. So, perhaps before we start, I introduced myself and the Beaver. Perhaps I should tell you a little bit about the company itself. So, what is Apwide? Apwide is a Swiss company. So, just to help you create the mental image, I put some things on the screen that are commonly recognized as very Swiss. There are some great watches, mediocre chocolate, if you ask me, and a lot of money. However, a lesser known fact about Switzerland is that it's illegal in Switzerland to own just one guinea pig. It's really enforced by law. If you want to have guinea pigs in Switzerland, you need to have at least two because they get lonely. So that's a little lesser known fact about Switzerland. Now, in terms of Apwide, it was founded by developers from Nespresso. While working at Nespresso, they created an app, not Booking, so a different app for managing test environments. And they just realized, okay, this is such a great tool. Maybe we can, start a company around that, and that's how Apwide came to be. We already on the marketplace for I guess something around 7-8 years now, and we are a silver marketplace partner. We already had a couple of successful products, and then there came Codegeist. I'm not sure if how probably most of you heard about Codegeist at least once, but basically it's an Atlassian hackathon. It's a hackathon organized where once a year by Atlassian, where developers, individuals and companies, vendors, they can participate in this uh, in this hackathon to create an app in a short time and release it on the Atlassian marketplace and get some, rewards and also just some publication by Atlassian. And it was very important for us. We decided to participate, we made it a point to participate every year, and we had some success. We won. We took a place on the podium 2 years in a row in 2024 with Booking and with another app last year. And every time we gave away the monetary reward to sponsor Teto Brazil, which is a charitable organization building houses for families in need in Brazil. But yeah, this one and the previous one since 2024, it was the Codegeist this hackathon was based around Forge development platform. And again, probably there are some people among the audience that already know what Forge is and how it works, but probably there are some people that still don't know what Forge is. So let me just explain from scratch on the basic level. Forge is the Atlassian development platform, which basically allows people to build secure, reliable, and scalable apps that are nested inside the Jira ecosystem that work on the same UI and basically do it a lot faster and make sure that it runs fully on the Atlassian infrastructure, which gives a lot of benefits to both developers and users, which we'll talk about in a moment. But in short, it also allows you to create the product that you need pretty quickly. And probably that was the reason behind Atlassian pushing. So, okay, this hackathon that lasts 1 month will be based around Forge. Let's show people how useful of an app you can create in less than 30 days, right? Of course, now it's been 2 years since Booking was released, so it got a lot of updates. Some of the things I will be talking about weren't created in just 1 month. But just to give you some background on what was the whole deal with Forge from the developer perspective, I'm not a developer, but I asked our developers what do they like most about working with Forge, and the main arguments that they came back to me was the fact that there is no hosting headaches, right? The app built on Forge will run entirely on Atlassian infrastructure, so it's cloud only, of course. Then the fact that it gives you all those possibilities within Jira and Confluence. Some people say that it's automation with extra capabilities because you can create separate full pages, custom menus, and just work around the UI. And they're constantly releasing new APIs that you can utilize to talk to different services from Atlassian. So essentially making it easier and more powerful for developers. And if those developers already worked with developing Jira apps in the past, if they worked with Jira automation, they will feel it feels natural, and there's a familiar logic behind utilizing those features. And then the fact that you have a pretty easy access, as I already said, to those APIs from Atlassian. So it's very easy to just open documentation, find the right endpoint, and query Atlassian data. And as I already also mentioned, the fact that creating UI is very fast because you can use those built-in components that essentially allow you to build something that feels like basically putting Legos together, right? But of course, this is all from the developer perspective. Why should you, as a user, care about all those things? Well, in my opinion, basically every one of those translates directly into benefits that the user will experience, right? The fact that we have no issues with hosting, it lowers the total costs and prices because there is no infrastructure behind it. The fact that I'm sorry, I hear some microphone feedback in the background. Is there something? Thank you so much. Yeah, that's much better. Sorry for that. So yeah, we can. The fact that we can so easily talk to Atlassian means that the integration runs deeper. It's all a lot faster, and also we can work faster. We can create new features and improvements based on customer feedback in a really short span of time. The fact that we have access to all of the Atlassian data that you have on your instance just makes everything faster. It's a better user experience overall, right? So that's in short what Forge is about and what Codegeist is. So coming back to my story, we already knew that we will participate in Codegeist. We knew that it will be a Forge app. Now the question is, what should we create? What would be the idea behind the app, right? And yeah, we started talking with our customers. We put our ear to the ground, and we realized that booking in itself, something related to resources, it could be a great idea to start. And we started doing some research. Basically, we asked customers, how do they book their resources? How do they reserve stuff at their company, whatever it would be, cars in a vehicle fleet, shared desks or computers, any devices for testing, or meeting rooms, anything. And you probably know most of those examples that we heard as a response when we ask those questions. Basically, things like using Outlook for booking meeting rooms, using Excel for some kind of shared desks system where you're hot desking in the office, using some shared calendars for things that are not humans, that are devices, or meeting rooms again. Um, we actually had a customer that was, and we'll come back to this story, but we had a customer that used complicated Confluence pages to create logistics for shared licenses in SaaS products that they were using. Uh, it's all very problematic, especially at some point we started talking with customers that operated vehicle fleets, and they all complained about those fleet management apps that were very heavy, very costly, and they often had very limited that feature set and basically no customizability at all. And yeah, so we were sure at this point that okay, booking is a great thing to put our attention towards. And okay, if you're thinking booking and Jira, resource reservation, resources, Jira, and you come to assets, right? Since recently, everyone in Jira standard plan has access to assets, which is this Atlassian tooling that is helpful for tracking any resources that you track at your organization. Again, whether that would be devices of some sort, some tools that you use, or the or vehicles often. uh, you can track them in assets, and a lot of people already do that. So how about creating some additional layer that would allow you to basically assign those assets for a particular period of time to people? um, so and okay, so that's one thing, but why would you want to use Jira instead of a dedicated solution or some kind of a workaround? And there are multiple reasons behind it. If you installed a couple apps in your Jira, then you probably already see the benefits of centralizing things. But it's about visibility. It's about working faster, uh, not changing the landscape every second that you need to book something, or basically it's nice to have everything in one place, right? Traceability is also very important, and at some point it will be a reduction of costs to not invest in those standalone solutions. So following that, as I mentioned before about this customer, unfortunately I cannot share the name, but we were working with a big customer as a consultancy to help them create a system for booking access to products that they were using that had licenses based on the amount of users that were using the tool at the same time. And we realized that yeah, you can create something like that within Jira, and you don't even need an app for that. You can just do it with automation and some extra um, work. But basically, to create the system that we imagined, you would have to go through all those steps, and there would be a lot of testing and making sure that everything works. You would have to create a new project, create a work type, then update the schemes, then create custom fields, then start an end date, then create some screens, add them, create a scheme, create a workflow, update the workflow. There's a lot of steps that you would have to go through, and a typical Jira admin just doesn't want to be bothered with it, right? So why not create a simple add-on that would make things simpler for you day to day? And with Apwide Booking, we could just make it happen, but basically skipping all the headaches of doing it. So it would be easier to configure, it would have a great user experience, but it would also do things automatically for you. It would allow you for conflict checking, so you don't have to go through the whole Excel spreadsheet and look at the dates. It will happen automatically in the background, and it will just automatically suggest you a rescheduling or some alternatives for available resources, right? And yeah, we imagined something like that working. We imagined how much simpler it would be if the whole configuration would be done automatically. It would just be a simple loading bar. It does everything for you. You just put in your resources, and then you can book them either from a timeline. There are actually multiple ways to book, as you will see in a moment during the demo. But also, as you can see, you can even turn it into a conversation if you utilize Rovo, so the Atlassian AI agent. And what about those situations where it's not that simple that you can make it into a one button press in the on the timeline? What about those situations where we need to fill out a complicated form on Jira Service Management in order to provide all the information needed behind a booking? Those things also happen, but in response to this, we created the uh, feature set allowing you to create customized AI agents with Rovo, and that means that you can fill out those complicated forms by a simple conversation with a chatbot. And it all works within Jira Service Management, so it's something that even people without an active Jira license can benefit from. And yeah, that's basically it. The end of the story. We got to coding and we created that app, and it gained a lot of traction. I don't have any more slides. We'll go into the demo. But actually, before we do that, I just want to quickly once again give you some background behind why am I talking to you as an animated beaver? What's the whole story with that? So basically, as I said at the beginning of this, we believe in making it fun, right? We're making it interesting, entertaining for people, even though we're talking about pretty boring subjects of resource reservation within Jira. So we just decided to go big in terms of bringing joy to people. We created this mascot that led a big challenge that we created with prizes where people could think of the funniest use case to use the app, and there were some monetary rewards. We created the costume based on the mascot that we brought to different events across the globe, including, for example, Team 25, where we became quite a celebrity with the beaver. Then we won, as I said, we already won Code Guys, but we also won and the Atlassian reward for on the October 1st in 2025, and we started this Booking Beaver tour, which basically the idea is to visit as many ACEs as possible across the globe, and wherever we can, we try to show up live with the costume, take pictures with people, have some fun. But we also created this animated character that I'm speaking to you with now, so that we can also make those events online. And we also created very recently, we also created a global ACE chapter where we gather the biggest celebrities from the Atlassian ecosystem, people like Rodney Neeson, and we basically make them play D&D in this world with mm, anthropomorphized beavers, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of great time. So if you want to check it out, if you are a gamer, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, I recommend checking it out. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into a small demonstration of the product. I won't bore you too much with it, but I just want to show you more or less how does this look like. So this is the booking hub, the main kind of cockpit of the product, and this is where you will see all of your well, we call them booking flows, but essentially I like to call them tools or views for booking a specific resource. Now, if you want to book something, it's as easy as that. You can just click here, just book, right? It will open a screen where you can select the resource. In this case, select for how long will you need that resource, and that's basically it. If I select 2 days, then it will hide the calendar, but if I have the calendar, I can see the availability and just do a drag and drop. So that's the most basic way, right? Just click book, and it will create a Jira ticket for you. And this ticket can go through the whole approval process that can either be automatic or, as in this case, it didn't find any conflicts. So it just approved it automatically. But we can also disable this and have a manual workflow where there needs to be some person that comes in and checks every booking and decides which one is approved and which one is not. But that's just the most basic way, right, of creating the booking. First of all, you can actually open one of those flows and let's see what is inside then. On the first screen, you will see the list of all the created bookings in the recent past, but you can also use the calendar to see, to narrow down the dates that you want to see. Then there is the timeline, which gives you the visualized way of viewing what is available and what is not. And on this last screen, we can see the list of resources in this flow and also easily edit that. In this case, those are simple resources that you can just add like that. They're not tracked anywhere in Jira. I could just write anything here and that would be another resource on that timeline. But again, that's the most basic way of doing it because we can also attach them to Jira assets, which would automatically pull those resources from assets. But I'll show you how this works in a moment. But yeah, from here, we'll be able to just book by clicking on the, misclicked, sorry for that. Right, so here I will be able to just book directly by clicking on the time that interests me on the timeline. That's pretty simple. That's the most visually rewarding way of doing that. But we don't even need to interact with the app itself, right? We can just create a new Jira issue, and if we select the right work type, then we'll just be able to easily book just by creating a new ticket, right? And it will automatically add all the required fields from booking. And as we talked during the presentation, you can also do it just by talking with Rovo. I don't know if I would be really interested, maybe if we go into the Q&A after the presentation, if to get some statistics from you guys, how many of you have already used Rovo and how many of you are actually utilizing it every day, because the opinions that I get from people are very varied. Some people say that they use it a lot, some people really hate it, but there is no doubt that for skipping some clicking, it's really amazing, because I can just ask him, hey man, I will need a car for Tuesday, what is available? And he'll review the question, pull up the booking configuration and give us the answer of what is available. Just give him a moment to think. He finds available resources and proposes whatever is available. So let's say that, I want to take the Ford Mustang for a week, please. But what should happen, if I'm not mistaken, is he should very politely decline my request, because I set the maximum duration of the booking to be 2 days. Okay, 3 days and 5 hours is what I set up. So as you can see, not only will the booking clerk do this for you, he will also enforce your rules based on what you set up in the configuration. So that's another way of doing it. Yet another way is utilizing Jira Service Management, so that you don't even need to have a Jira account. Maybe you want to have this customer facing. Maybe you want people to be able to book time with your consultants, for example. That all can be handled through JSM. And here I have a booking flow for tablets that is set up a bit differently. We'll go through all the available experiences in a moment. But for example, this is based on pre-configured time slots. So here I will not be able to select manually from for how long do I want a given resource. I just have a couple of time slots available. So this is very similar to, for example, if you ever booked a call with Calendly, you can basically recreate the same feature set of Calendly within Jira Service Management and get tickets in Jira whenever someone books a time with one of your consultants. So that's something that gets a lot of attention from our users, and I think that mostly covers the basics. I don't want to bore you and go into all those details that you will probably not remember by the end of the day. If you have a question for a specific thing, if we can if we can work with a specific use case, then of course feel free to ask your questions. I'll gladly uh, go into more detail. Before I finish, let's go quickly through the booking flow creation process. I want to show you how do we create a new flow from scratch, right? So it's very simple. All you have to do is press this button, new booking flow. And then you can choose from some of our available ready-made templates for the most commonly booked things. But in this case, let's just create something new. And let's say I will be booking inflatable flamingos. Testing. And in the next steps, that's basically the biggest choice that you would make, and the only choice in this configuration that you cannot edit later. Basically everything that we will do here, you can just change it later, but this is an important step because here we will choose whether we want to use basic resources in Apwide booking. This is what I showed you before, so we would just put it by hand, Flamingo 1, Flamingo 2, and that's it. And this will only be visible inside the app, and the resources themselves do not exist in Jira anywhere. However, if we want to have more control over it and actually track those bookings, we can use Jira assets. Let me show you my schema that I have on this instance. Just open another tab quickly. Here, if I open assets, so assets, they allow you to create those schemas, which are essentially hierarchies that will allow you to categorize and to keep track of all your different resources. And then not only you can do that, but you can also have those attributes, right? So each of those resources, they can have a specific attributes, right? Kind of like fields in Jira that those resources have. And this is important because especially for people that already use assets, we can then create a huge flow where you would have, for example, hundreds of resources from assets with different attributes, and you can easily search based on the attribute. So I could say, okay, we have 1,000 car in our fleet. I'm looking specifically for something that will handle 5 people and is white and is created not more than 5 years ago. The car was manufactured less than 5 years ago, something like that. I can show you the filtering as well. But basically, that's it. I have this funny schema for inflatable flamingos. And if I want to put those resources inside of my booking flow, then it's as easy as this, right? We can either type in the AQL by hand, or we can just add those flamingo, use the selector, and this will basically create those this AQL for us and show us the result of this query. And then I can just click save and proceed. And here I would be able to select which attributes will later be available as resource filters. So which of those attributes will I be able to use as filters? I will not select anything now. I'll show you in a moment on a different example how this looks. But for now, we just proceed. In this next step, we can choose which space will this be nested under, or project, right? If you use the old naming system. And here is where we'll be able to, limit the visibility of this booking flow to a particular project. Or if we, this is the screen where if we select a project that is a Jira Service Management project, that's how we will be able to display this inside our help desk, right, in JSM, our portal. So proceeding from there, this is where we will be able to select the booking experience, and this is what gives you the difference between different ways of essentially specifying the time where you need it, right? It can either be time selection, so it's the simplest way of doing it. You just specify the start and end date. So you say, okay, I want this resource from 2 a.m. tomorrow until 5 p.m. on Friday. That's it. Then time slots, they will allow you to create those predefined slots, give the availability to people, and allow them to select the slot that they need. And then resource availability, um, I can show you how this works as well. This is something that's very useful for filtering because we first select the resource and then we check the availability, right? So with time selection is the other way around. I say that I need a car for 5 days and it will tell me which cars are available. With resource availability, it's the other way around. I say that I want this specific car and it tells me when the car will be available. Um, so let's just select time selection now. Let's just make a simple example. And that's it in terms of configuration. You just click start and you give him a moment to think and he will create a beautiful flow with the timeline that will allow us to book inflatable flamingos. We can track the time. Shouldn't take more than 30 seconds. It's already building the workflow. Some last steps and there we go. It's already created. Now we can just open the flow and as you can see it already exists and I can book those flamingos from the timeline. So one nice thing that I indeed forgot to show you was this filtering. I have this configured, for example, not here on computers, right? Here I added some filters for CPU, color of the computer and GPU. So this will allow me either here or during the booking itself, right? I will be able to select, okay, I want a computer with an Intel CPU that is gray and that runs on Radeon. I probably don't have anything like that. So on NVIDIA, I will have those three, and I can select, and I see what is the availability of this particular resource. So, probably not that useful in this flow where we have 6 PCs that we can fit on this screen. But if you manage a vehicle fleet of like 5,000 resources, which is, by the way, the limit of what we tested, if you're curious, 5,500 resources is the biggest flow that we created, and it still worked pretty well. But at this point, you probably need some filtering to easily be able to search it. Then yeah, I think that mostly covers everything from the basics of the booking and its story. I will gladly answer any questions, and of course, if you want to try it out by yourself, we navigate to the Atlassian marketplace. All we have to do is oops, sorry, no, that's not the marketplace. All you have to do is type in booking. I think that will be enough. Should be the first result. You can start a free trial for 30 days, but of course, if you let me know, I can gladly prolong it. We can give it to you for free for 6 months, 5 months, as long as you need, and we can give you some help in configuring it to your use case. I showed you just the basics. There is a lot more to be discovered in the app, a lot of different use cases that we gathered throughout the last 2 years and that we implemented. For example, multi-resource booking, which allows you to book multiple things in the same ticket. Automatic resource assignment, where you don't have to specify what you need. You just say, give me any parking spot, and it will automatically assign something for you. All the goodies. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much again for the, oh my God, I think okay, I just noticed that I pressed the L button on my keyboard and that that put the armor that we use for D&D on my character. That was, I don't know when that happened.
I was about to ask it. What is it about? Like the fire and the shield in your hand.
So that was again for the D&D campaign that we created. I have this armor that I can put on for it, and that happens when I press the key, one of the L key on my keyboard. So I pressed it by mistake when I was typing something. That's what happened. My bad.
But it's good actually.
It's good, yeah. It's good. It's best. I think it's unique and it's good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll wear the armor for the rest of this then.
So we do have a question, like Gabriel.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if you can see, or maybe I can spoke it.
Okay. Is it somewhere on the screen? Where can I?
Yeah, it's on the. Let me share my screen.
Okay, now I see. When you say plugin Apwide, it is basically adding a pre-configured product to Jira platform and avoid the pain of configuring everything from scratch. Yes and no, because you could say that we started with that idea, but it also adds a lot in terms of interface, right? So yes, you can have a system like that with a lot of manual configuration that will allow you to essentially book and you would have to probably do a lot of manual customization to achieve a specific resource that is different, specific use case different than just basic booking and assigning a resource. But yes, you could technically configure most of it with automation, but definitely none of the interface stuff, right? And none of the like integration with Rovo, doing it on JSM, that probably wouldn't be possible. But most of the booking, yes, but definitely no visual timeline, no flows that are visible on one screen, because this is one of the biggest thing about Forge, is that we have like a separate screen that we can use for our stuff. You cannot just do it with automation. That's the basic, the biggest difference.
I hope it answers your question, Vikram.
While creating assets, will it only be stored in JSM assets, or the data can be stored in Apwide booking as well? No, the data is not stored in Apwide at all. It's all stored in your Jira, and that's kind of the point behind Runs on Atlassian and those Forge apps, is that we don't need any security checks or anything like that, because we don't run anything on our infrastructure. Once you install the app, everything is in your Jira, and we don't store anything. We don't hold any data from side. We just get some basic anonymized, which you can disable anyway, but we get some basic anonymized data about like how many do you create, how many flows did you create or stuff like that, just for user tracking. But nothing above that is stored on our side. So and in the app itself as well. So it's all within Jira.
Okay, so Vikram is raising a hand as well. So yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I think am I audible?
yeah, audible.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello
Okay.
there.
I think I prettily answered that what I was interested to knowing. But yeah, so basically that it's a product, but it need to be configured based on the use case. Okay, whether it's assets, whether it's a other resource or something others. But yeah, ultimately this is a product which we have to configure it.
I mean, yes, but that's the whole thing. We made the configuration as easy as possible, right? You just follow the wizard. It's a couple of clicks, and all of those things can be configured within minutes, right? As I showed you, we went from a list of resources in Jira Assets and created a timeline with the ability to book in JSM, with Rovo, and all of that. It took 1 minute, right? And no testing, no background checks, and a dedicated interface. So that's the biggest thing about it. There is something that you have to configure a little bit to adjust to what you need, but it takes seconds, and it's all within simple interfaces. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So I have one more question. So
Go ahead.
if I talk about the physical assets, how this can be integrated with the kind of mobile device or other things, because if somebody is going to use it for allocation and other stuff, okay, so they must be also like to track it, where or maybe doing the stock taking kind of thing or inventory taking kind of thing, and how that can be integrated.
Uh, well, most of those views that I showed you, they are completely configurable in terms of what can be seen by a Jira administrator or a specific user that is just designated to. You don't have to be like a Jira admin to have access specifically to configuration of those flows or to the timeline itself. But it can be limited in terms of permissions. So it just depends which views do you allow the user to see and which views are managed by someone that is taking inventory. Because yeah, of course, if you will have those physical devices that you will be giving out based on this calendar, probably there will need to be someone that is still guarding the shelf where those devices are laying. It will not fly automatically on a drone to someone, but essentially, if it comes to real life use cases, most of our users, they just specify which views do they see. Okay, this is something that would be only useful for the person taking the inventory. For a Jira admin, he will see the timeline, he will see all the bookings, and he will be able to like reschedule it in the background and contact those users. And the user can only see, for example, the selector of time slots, right? So yeah, it's basically again about how you configure it and how do you manage the process in real life, right? Behind the, if we are talking about physical devices, at least, right? Does that make sense, or did I misunderstand your question?
No, that's okay. Basically, my question was specific to that. Means allocation is a one thing which is admin is doing, but when actually this is any physical asset is getting assigned to someone, so someone is kind of doing a stock taking kind of thing. I'm not sure whether people are getting. It's a kind of issue and receipt kind of thing that this has been allocated and that person acknowledge it. Yeah, I've got it, and then when he return it,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So then again, back to the system. This is updated. Yeah, this has been returned.
Yeah, so again, if the way I understand it, I would let me share my screen again. Give me 1 second. Basically, what I would do is just show my screen again. Just give access to the timeline itself and to this view to a person that is taking inventory, and at any point he can check what is assigned and what isn't, and then open detailed view, see who created that booking, who holds it, and until when. And then if someone does indeed, and as again, we can set it up so that it's automatic, so that the whole process, like for example for approving the booking, happens completely automatically. It's just boom, approved, and it goes green on the timeline because it's available. But we can also make it manual, so that every time I create a request here, it will be grayed out, and someone has to manually check if it's available, give me the resource, and then maybe after he gives me the resource, then he makes it approved, and everything will be then logged in the logs here. So you will see exactly when was it requested, when was it given out. And then if someone returns it sooner for some reason, then also we can make updates on this page to kind of reflect the reality, right, of what happened.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Mm. So till then, like maybe I can ask a question that I have.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if you can share like one feature in the app, right, basically, which is like I have a good customer base now. I can see. So that one feature that exists purely because of the customer feedback, because customer usually give the feedback around the products, like that should be added. So can you share one feature that is purely around that only, or is there anything else?
Honestly, most of it is because again, but yeah, I can give you some cool examples. But basically, again, the app was created for a hackathon in 1 month, and it didn't even have a timeline. We had a graphic saying "beautiful timelines coming soon." So basically, from there, everything was on request of a customer that was like, okay, it's an app for booking, but it can only do this, and I need this. And basically every of those booking experience that I showed you came from someone coming in and being like, I will pay for this app if you add this. And we were extremely customer centric in this. We were giving it out for free just so. And the Booking Beaver challenge, which it all started with, it was a big competition where people could create the most funny or interesting use case, and this also gave us a lot of ideas. One of the things that we did very, very recently, and something that we, because some of those things they were obvious, right? Like adding time slots, yeah, sure, let's wait until someone requests it, but it's pretty obvious. Something that wasn't obvious that we, for example, added very recently, and I can share my screen, and I will even have to go into a staging environment to show this. Basically, we had someone that we were working with a company that was a TV studio, and they had a lot of guests arriving at the studio to record something and stuff like that. And they had parking slots. And they asked us, okay, we have that's many parking slots, and we want to assign them to users. And we showed them, okay, yeah, no problem at all. We have people booking parking slots, and we know that they do it. but then they looked at it and they said, are you crazy? Why should someone pick a parking slot like from a list? We have 20 parking slots, and what, they have to go on the list and be like 101, 102, 103 and just select blindly? That doesn't make any sense. And we thought, yeah, wait, actually, yeah, you're right, that doesn't make any sense. So we created this new guide for automation that you can implement, and this is now documentation. So basically now with this flow, you don't see any calendars, you don't see anything. You just specify, okay, I will arrive this time at this time, at this moment I will leave this time, and I say how many parking spots do I need, and I just click send. And if
Okay.
everything works correctly, and let's keep our fingers crossed, because again, it's a staging environment. And yeah, it will. So the automation will just respond to you saying, "Okay, thank you for your request. We will try to reserve 2 parking spots for you," and then you give it a moment to do its thing, and there should, wow, yeah. And here we have the first one, and if we keep refreshing, soon there should be another comment with the next parking slot. So this one, so this again, I don't care which slot will I receive. I don't know what's the difference between slot 101 and slot 105. In this case, yeah, there you go. In this case, they wanted to be able to specify, I just need this many slots. Just give me something and tell me which one should I look for when I arrive at the spot. So this is something that specifically created for a user that gave us an idea that we didn't even think about. Yeah, I think that's a good example.
That's nice, actually. Instead of booking blindly, the system approves for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But at some point we realized also that, if you add 10, because it's often when you create those apps, when you work with Jira in general, it's always about scalability, right? Like Jira doesn't make sense, for me at least, for most use cases, if you have 3 users and 1 project, right? It's all an overkill. But and you start explaining on the like basic examples, someone will ask, okay, that's cool, but why? Why would I bother? I can just put a piece of paper and a pen and I can plan everything. Sure, but it stopped making sense when you have 15 projects or 20 projects or 100 people to manage their work, right? And here we also noticed, okay, it's a beautiful, nice timeline when you have 5 parking slots, 2 cars, that's great. But when you start having 500 cars, how do you filter through it? So we started working on those additional features for filtering, automatic assignment, multiple assignment, stuff like that.
Got it. So, all right, if anyone of you have any questions, you can ask, or we can move on to the quiz or a quick screenshot of the audience here.
Oh, that would be great. Yes.
All right, I believe you explained pretty well to the audience, and they might be trying the Apwide later, the Booking Beaver. If you still have any, you can ask. We are here only for 10 more minutes. We are doing the quiz. You can drop your question in the chat. And before that, let's take a quick screenshot here, guys. So if you want, you can turn on your cameras if you are in comfortable position, and we can take a screenshot. All right. Okay, the screen 1 is done. Then, okay, people are turning on cameras.
Okay, so let's give it a bit more time.
Okay, the screen 2. Got it. Okay. Thank you, guys. Now I am sharing my screen. You can scan the QR code to join this quiz, and that is not basically around the session, as I told earlier, may or may not be. So it is something different. So please try to stay with us and answer fast, actually, because it is the fastest finger first. If you answer it fast, you will get the points.
Should I also join, or as a presenter, am I prohibited from doing that?
You can join, but you're excluded from the
The reward. That's fine. That's fine. I will do it just for the love of the game.
Yeah, you can do it. And yes. Okay. I can see 5 you have joined. 6. We are 13 here. So excluding me and Sushant, I should believe 11 should be there. And yeah, one cheat code here, guys. So if you put the answer first, whether it's wrong or the right, you will get the points free. Yeah. And try to answer it right actually, because for the wrong one you will not get the point. But yeah, try to answer it very fast, because the audience is very less and you will be lacking in the points if you take time. Okay, 15 more seconds to go. You can scan this and join through this code from menti.com. All right. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, let me begin it. 11 are here. Okay, so 7 are ready. 8, 9. Cool. So the first question is here. The word chivalry comes from the French word for what? The sword, the horse, the knight, the honor. What would it be? So let's see how many of you are answering it right. And the correct answer is horse, not the knight, not the honor, or never the
Really?
sword.
All right,
Yes.
chevaux, something like that.
Mm.
Chevalier. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, correct is horse one actually. So, okay, amazing. So moving on to the next question, which is, let's see, what is the question? Which letter appears in no US state name? So if you are good in geography, you might know it. So let's see how many of you know it better. And even the champions who are here can know it, because this quiz is from the trivia, I believe, that we had in December. So the correct is Q, and most of you are right. And that may be a wild guess from you guys, I believe. Or you are good in geography. So okay, moving on to the next, the question number 3. And the question is, doctors take an oath named after which Greek figure? It's what it is. And I can, yeah, I remember the answer here, but I don't want to spoil. And yeah, the correct one is Hippocrates, not the Socrates, basically. Okay, so yeah, most of you are doing it right, and maybe you are using AI at the back that I might not know, but yeah, please try to use your knowledge, or maybe you are not using AI. I'm just guessing it. So question number 4, which is, the speed of a ship is measured in what? Which is a simple one, I believe. It is in knots, miles, leagues, or waves. I believe it should be measured in waves, because the ocean is full of waves.
But then, what if you have a ship on a lake? Smaller ship.
Don't trust him. Don't trust him.
So it is in knots, and most of you are right here. So
Yeah.
okay. So the questions are here basically from around the world, not from the session. So I kept it something different this time. So moving on to the next question, which is the question number 5. Let's do it quickly because we have only 4 minutes left in the session. And the question is, which cheese piece can only move diagonally? Oh, sorry, chess piece, not cheese. So if you are a chess player or might know something about chess, what piece will move diagonally? And that is bishop.
I knew the answer, but I misunderstood the word diagonally.
Okay. So you selected queen, I believe.
No, I selected rook because I thought it made straight lines.
Okay. So the bishop is moving diagonally. Or the only move that it has is diagonal. So okay. Now let's see the leaderboard quickly. Who is on the top? And we have, I believe, Liz on the top. Amazing. No, the Siddhi is on top. Liz is the fastest one. Okay, nice. Still have 5 questions left, guys. So try to answer it fast, and you may be on the top now.
Uh, okay.
Okay. So what was the first music video ever played on MTV? So if you are a millennial or love music, you might know it. And the answer is the video killed the radio star.
Video
Now
kill the radio star.
you are rhyming actually. Yeah. Nice. The background music. Okay, the question number 7, and the question is the Nike Air Jordan logo is officially called what? So the Jordan lovers here might be the best answerer. The Airman, Skywalker, the Dunk, or the Jumpman.
Do you know the answer to that one?
I'm
followed
confused a bit
completely
actually.
blindly.
Confused. Yeah, the Jumpman. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
confused in the Jumpman and the Airman. Yeah. So the correct one is Jumpman.
I'm more of a football guy, you know.
Yeah. Amazing.
Whom
So
you are supporting then?
I'm sorry?
Whom you are supporting then in World Cup?
Switzerland, of course.
And they have qualified for quarterfinals.
Yes. We are
Yeah.
playing with Messi this Sunday.
Yeah.
Amazing. So the
Not
question-
amazing. It will be a slaughter. Trust me.
All right. So the question number 8, guys, the ancient trade route connecting Asia and Europe was called what? The Silk Road, the Spice Way, the Gold Trail, or the Tea Route? And I might know the answer here. I'm pretty sure the answer is Silk Road. Let's see what it is. And it is correct. Most of you are right. That's nice. So the second last question, guys, let's wrap it up quickly. Which is, in Greek mythology, who stole fire from the gods? The Atlas, the Hercules, the Prometheus, the Apollo. And I am confused. What could be the answer? That might be Hercules or...
Meteus, I think, but I might be wrong.
Yeah. You are right. Okay. So moving on to the last question, guys. That's your chance to be on the top of the leaderboard.
I just want to be on the leaderboard.
You might be, because you have answered few of the correct questions. And the last question is, which country has a dragon on its flag?
Oh, I know this one.
And the Ireland, Wales, Norway, Austria. And I believe the answer is not the Austria, not the Ireland, and the answer is Wales. Okay. So now let's wrap the quiz and see who won the vouchers and the certification vouchers. And I believe Chris is on the top. No, Siddhi, Liz, Chris, Hustler, and the hold up.
Well done.
Well done, guys. So the top 5 will be getting the certificate. No, the 3-1 is getting the certificate voucher, the top 3. Then the 4th and the 5th one getting the gift vouchers. So for your vouchers, you can DM me or Sushant on LinkedIn, or maybe you can drop your email here if you want. We will give you that on your email or maybe on your LinkedIn, whatever you prefer. And that's a wrap actually. Let me take a screenshot of this. Okay, got it.
Okay, we have Chris' email.
Okay, let me note it down here.
Yeah. And all 4 can send your email or DM us. We'll give you a voucher.
Yes.
Or a certificate voucher.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's a wrap, guys. You can reach Gabriel out or any of the team member from Apwide for any questions that you might still have. They might be the best person to answer your questions. And yeah, that's a quick wrap. And
Uh,
I believe anything you would like to share, Gabriel, at the last, or should we wrap up?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I can put my email in the chat box if you want, but then again,
Yeah,
Yep,
if
yep.
you go to our listing, no, wait, that's my personal email.
yeah. Maybe you want the gift voucher, right?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Use this one. But yeah, that's regardless if you just search for the app on the marketplace, there's a button to book a call with me directly, so that's fine. I just wanted to add at the end of this that I really hope that once in the future we can organize the same event in live in India, and I'll
Yes.
bring the costume and we'll do something crazy.
I will love to host it,
Uh,
basically.
Do you do live events like in
Yeah,
person?
yeah, yeah,
actually,
yeah.
we do in-person events also.
Great. I'll keep that in mind. I will reach out to you when we'll be scheduling a trip.
Awesome.
It will
awesome.
happen eventually. I don't know when, can't promise, but it will happen.
We'll
Awesome.
wait
So,
for you then, Gabriel.
Thank you.
and that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good day or great
Bye bye.
evening.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Big shout out to our speaker, Gabriel. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye, bye, guys.